James Carter is one of those rare, unique individuals.
Before James, I hadn't met an attorney with the ethical standards with whom I would trust my clients.
If it wasn't for him actually caring and going through everything and looking everything over, there were key points and parts that would have been missed.
He works extremely hard. After hours, anytime you can reach him, he makes himself available.
He's been a great father. He's taught me a lot of lessons. He's instilled a sense of not giving up.
From a very young age, I was taught that the privilege of education mandates that we use those educational opportunities towards the upliftment of the broader community.
As we prosper, we know that the way that we can best help this community is by putting our resources in the hands of those people who need the resources the most.
James has helped a lot of people because he always tells me it's not about me. I just want to play my part.
The Christian ethical backdrop compels us to help those who are most in need. Helping the community is what brought me into the plaintiff's practice of law.
I want to say this about James Carter. I can say this because he's a brother that, without a doubt, I have so much respect for. This young man is one of the finest lawyers in America, really. He has talents like you wouldn't believe. But above all of that, he has not forgotten about the bridge that brought him over.
I am a civil trial attorney, and that means I advocate for individuals who were injured or harmed or aggrieved. I've been involved in cases, not only here in Louisiana, but around the country, where we militate for justice in cases as low as a couple of $100,000 on up to $20 million. And I'm also involved in cases that are worth much more than that now. So when there are cases that are high value, that there are millions of dollars on the line, other firms come and they hire me as trial counsel to assist them in their cases. I attended Howard University undergrad and Howard University School of Law in Washington, D.C., so I was there for 7 years. But I grew up here in New Orleans, and I've been back in New Orleans for 22 years now. In Hurricane Katrina, we left the city of New Orleans thinking that we would be back in a few days. It ended up 2.5, 3 months. We spent our time in Houston. And as I was in Houston and as we were able to look back on CNN watching the tragedy that happened there, I was compelled to do something.
He felt he had to be involved in a better way, and he couldn't seem to move the politicians, so he had to move into the political arena.
We didn't know whether or not we were going to win at that time, but lo and behold, we won. So I was part of the first city council that was seated post-Katrina New Orleans.
I would not describe James as a politician, but a statesman. And he did that at great sacrifice to what was monetarily available to him in his practice.
You see people in one walk of life, and then you see them in professional life. And to me, he's been the same person. And he will always step up to champion a lot of things that we were trying to do in the criminal justice arena.
We had an opportunity to help to stand up the city in a very tragic and very desperate situation the city was in at that time. After 4 years in that capacity, it was clear to me, though, that this is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. I still, like at that time, continue to have a heart for people, and so what I was able to do is utilize these skills to advocate for individuals who are wronged by corporations and individuals who refuse to do right.
We came to know James through the loss of my mother-in-law, their mother, and he represented the Robinettes in a wrongful death suit.
An elderly lady was left behind in a senior citizens facility.
He knew how to proceed with the case. Through pictorials, he had pictures of my mother-in-law.
The way he's able to tell a story in a courtroom is something you can't learn. It's something you're born with. And James has that.
My theatrical training in my background has really helped me to be able to present in a way that's very persuasive and very markedly different than most of my contemporaries.
Any competent lawyer can handle the easy cases, but the more difficult cases require people who will devote the time and energy necessary to find a way to win.
He cares about those who have come before him and whose shoulders that he stands on and who have done this work and allows him to do this work.
As a person who is determined to fight to the very end for a cause which I actually believe in, a person who was blessed with the parents I've had, who's blessed with the association of friends that I have, who's blessed with an incredibly talented, wonderful, and beautiful wife, and an extraordinary son. I bring all of those things to table and to bear, and I make sure that my opponents get all of it, absolute all. I don't leave anything out when it comes down to advocating for our clients.